Alright, good morning everybody, it's your boy Akeem and welcome to today's vlogs. I'm here to finally give you my projections for the 2015 fantasy football season. Now, due to the off the field issues with some suspensions as well as some injuries entering this season, it made it very difficult for me to decide who will be my top players for each position headed into this season. Now, as promised, I told you guys I was actually going to give you a top 30 for this year for the skill player positions at the quarterback, running backs, and wide receivers, and I'm going to give you a top 20 position for the defenses, kickers, and tight ends. And if I'm going to start things off with my top 30 quarterbacks, and for this vlog, I'm here to talk about numbers 30 to 16, starting with the first half. Now, I'm going to start off with number 30 with Mark Sanchez of the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, he had a good season last season as a backup to Nick Foles, and he's going to be backing up Sam Bradford this year. It's going to be very interesting to see how things turn out. And the Eagles actually had a good route against the Ravens in their first game in preseason. Hopefully things will continue things on offensively. Now at number 29, I'm going to have to go with Robert Griffin III, RG3 from the Washington Redskins. He's kind of turned out to be a little bit of a bust for Washington. Only 1,694 yards passing last season, 4 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. He's going to have to learn how to develop to become a good throwing quarterback, and that is what Jay Gruden does, and he's as a guru as passing quarterbacks, not as a dual threat quarterback. He needs to do a better job as far as making the decisions and trying to take better risks in as far as believing in his targets. He does have some good talented players around him with Deshaun Jackson, Pierre Thomas, and he have a good running back behind him and Alfred Morris. At number 28, I'm going to go with Jacksonville's Blake Bortles. Last season he did have a little bit of struggle as a rookie. 2,908 yards passing, 11 touchdowns, and 17 interceptions. I'm looking for those numbers to improve this year. At number 27, I'm going to have to go with Ryan Fitzpatrick of the New York Jets. Now, Geno Smith is actually going to be out due to a broken jaw with an off-the-field issue in which he was involved in a fight, and he ended up with a broken jaw. So Ryan Fitzpatrick is most likely going to be at the helm at quarterback. Now, last season for Houston Texans, Fitzpatrick passed for 2,478 yards passing, 17 touchdowns, and just 8 interceptions. Not bad. He had a couple decent games last season as splitting duties at quarterback. At number 26, I'm going to go with Tennessee's Marcus Mariota, the number 2 overall selection for the 2015 NFL Draft. Now, I think he's going to be struggling as a passing quarterback, but he will definitely get his yardage as a running quarterback, as a dual threat. I see him rushing for over at least 500 yards this season and 5 rushing touchdowns, and I think he can give you some decent fantasy points as a good backup quarterback for this season. Now, at number 25, I'm going to have to go with Nick Foles for the St. Louis Rams, just traded for Sam Bradford from the Philadelphia Eagles. So that was a big trade during the offseason. I think that Nick Foles is still a good quarterback. Last season he had 13 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. I think those numbers will definitely increase this year to help out Jeff Fisher's offense. At number 24, I'm going to have to go with Andy Dalton from the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, after a good season in 2013, in which he finished 5th overall as quarterbacks, in 2014 he had a terrible season. 19 touchdowns and 17 interceptions. I remember in that one particular game against the Indianapolis Colts, in which I started him when they were playing at Indianapolis. I think he had like 2 points in that matchup. Terrible game. Now, this team is definitely going to be looking for it in balancing the rushing attack. I think they're going to do more as a run-based team as opposed to passing as much in that offense. I think they're going to look at the more running the football well with Giovanni Bernard and Jeremy Hill splitting the carries as a tandem, leaving a little bit more relief for Andy Dalton. At number 23, I'm going to have to go with KC's Alex Smith. Now, he's a good manager quarterback. Only 6 interceptions last season and just 18 touchdown passes, but he did have over 3,200 yards passing last season. Definitely great touchdown interception ratio. He is a good manager quarterback. At number 22, I'm going to have to go with Sam Bradford of Philadelphia Eagles, and he's been doing a pretty good job thus far in Chip Kelly's offense. offense. Hopefully things will be good if he just stays healthy. That is going to be key in his production or his productivity this season. At number 21, I'm going to have to go with the other rookie, Jameis Winston, the number 1 overall pick for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, he definitely have good weapons around him with Mike Evans as well as Vincent Jackson, a good veteran at wide receiver as far as the receiving core. I think because of those 2 good targets and Jameis Winston is a mature quarterback who definitely could make adjustments on offense by himself, I think he could do well as a rookie, possibly be the rookie of the year this season. At number 20, I'm going to have to go with Derek Carr from the Raiders. Now, this last season, he had a pretty good year in my opinion. 21 touchdown passes and just 12 picks as a rookie. I think those were good numbers. At number 19, I'm going to have to go with Teddy Bridgewater for the Minnesota Vikings. I think with the return of Adrian Peterson, that would definitely leave the workload off of Teddy Bridgewater and the distraction more towards Adrian Peterson. Now, last season, the rookie Bridgewater passed for 14 touchdown passes and 12 interceptions. I think those numbers will increase this season, just like how he did at Louisville. He did have like around 14 and 12 as a freshman for the Louisville Cardinals, and then he increased and became a star for Louisville, breaking records. I think that he will have a good sophomore season. At number 18, I'm going to have to go with Carson Palmer of the Arizona Cardinals. Now, he is actually starting off with a great season, passing for over 1,600 yards, 11 touchdowns, and just 3 interceptions until he got hurt with his knee, and this is going to be a big concern for a lot of new fantasy players out there as far as picking him. I think he can still be a good backup quarterback for this season. At number 17, I'm going to have to go with Jay Cutler of the Chicago Bears. Now, this quarterback should be doing a lot better with that arsenal around him when he had Brandon Marshall, Alshon Jeffrey, and they even have Martellus Bennett and Matt Forte, who is a great receiving running back out of the backfield. I think Jay Cutler should be doing a lot better than that. He had 28 touchdown passes and 18 interceptions last season. He needs to throw less interceptions, and he should pass for over 4,000 yards with the weapons that he has around him. Now, he does have the loss with Brandon Marshall, but they did pick up Kevin White from the West Virginia Mountaineers in this past season's draft. And at number 16, I'm going to have to go with Joe Flacco of the Baltimore Ravens. Now, I must say, he is not an elite quarterback, but he is still a good, decent quarterback. He had 27 touchdown passes and just 12 picks last season. Just passed for just under 4,000 yards. Now, this season is going to be very interesting because Gary Kubiak is no longer the offensive coordinator for Baltimore. He's now the head coach for Denver. So the offense is going to change things up a little bit. And they have the loss of Torrey Smith. He's now with my San Francisco 49ers, but they did pick up Brashard Perriman, the first-round selection of this past year's draft. I think they're still going to be doing fine passing this year. I don't know as far as running the football, but they're going to rely more possibly in passing the football with Joe Flacco at helm at quarterback. He is still a good quarterback, just not an elite, but a great, decent quarterback. One of the at least the top 15 best quarterbacks of the National Football League. I really kind of think top 10 best quarterbacks of the National Football League. Now, next I'm going to catch you guys will be in just a couple of minutes. I'm going to give you my top 15 quarterbacks for this year's fantasy season. Thank you for watching this vlog. I'm your man, Keen McCall. Be easy.